What if the answer we've been waiting for has never been outside of us? For generations, humanity has waited for a savior, a rescuer, someone or something to arrive and set things right. We look outward, hoping that change will descend upon us. Yet, what if the truth is far more confronting and far more empowering? What if the one we are waiting for has always been within us, working through us, as us, and in us? What many fail to realize is that what we call heaven is not a distant place we must reach after we depart from this world. Heaven is not reserved for another realm. It exists here, in the present moment. It is a state of being, a level of awareness, a way of living. You do not have to leave this world to experience heaven, because one of the heavenly places is here. So then, why does this world often feel like the opposite? We ask why the world is so broken, so chaotic, so painful, but how often do we pause long enough to recognize a difficult truth? Humanity itself has played a central role in turning this world into what feels like hell, through choices, actions, and systems we continue to uphold. Consider this simple but revealing scenario. Imagine a household with 4 children. The home is beautiful, filled with resources, care, and everything needed for a good life. Now imagine that 1 or 2 of those children begin to dominate the others. They take more than their share, hoard resources, strip the others of their possessions, and even treat them like servants within a home that was meant for all. Pause and think about this, not emotionally, but logically. Do the other children not have the same rights to live comfortably? Do they not have desires, needs, and dignity just like the others? Would any rational or compassionate observer say that this is acceptable? Of course not. And yet this is a reflection of what is happening on a global scale. This is one of the reasons why our world continues to resemble a kind of hell, instead of the paradise it was created to be. There is nothing inherently wrong with this planet. The Earth has provided abundantly. The problem lies in how humanity has chosen to interact with it, and with one another. Look around. What was once a thriving, balanced environment has in many places been turned into a landfill, not out of necessity, but in the pursuit of profit, power, and control. Instead of caring for the home we've been gifted, we have exploited it. Instead of stewarding resources, we have wasted them. Now imagine something different. Imagine this same Earth inhabited by a race of beings who do not understand war, who do not operate from greed, who recognize that they are part of a unified whole, a single source. How would they treat this planet? They would nurture it. They would clean what has been damaged and transform waste into useful resources, not for profit, but for the benefit of all. They would share what exists without hoarding, understanding that abundance is meant to circulate, not be controlled by a few. They would act with awareness, ensuring that nothing they introduce harms the earth or each other. In such a world, harmony would not be an ideal, it would be a natural outcome. Which raises an uncomfortable but necessary question. If such harmony is possible, then why does it not exist now? There is no true shortage of resources. There is no real need for war. Yet we live in a world where a small portion hoards the majority, while others struggle to survive. We live in a system where destruction is justified by power, and where those who question it are often silenced. There is another word for this behavior: domination, or as many would describe it, the behavior of a bully. Take hunger as an example. We are told there is not enough food. We are led to believe scarcity is the problem. And yet globally, between 1.05 and 1.6 billion tons of food are wasted every year, roughly 25 to 40% of all food produced. Think about that carefully. Lives are being lost due to hunger. And at the same time, billions of tons of food are discarded. Does that sound like a shortage, or a failure in distribution and priorities? At some point, the math simply does not add up. So why do we continue to accept the narrative? Why do we pretend we are solving a problem that in many ways is being maintained? Now consider something even simpler: a seed. Take a tomato seed. Plant it, nurture it. Even with minimal success, you will likely produce multiple tomatoes, and within each tomato are dozens of seeds, each capable of producing more. This is multiplication. This is natural abundance. Even if some seeds fail, others will thrive. And with methods like vertical farming, soil regeneration, and modern agricultural techniques, food production can be expanded even further. So again, ask yourself honestly, is there truly a food crisis, or have we been conditioned to believe in one? Return now to the household analogy. You are the parent. You have provided a home filled with enough for all your children, but one or two continuously destroy it. They hoard resources, waste what they have, and deprive the others. Occasionally they offer scraps, just enough to appear generous, while maintaining control. They present themselves as caretakers, while creating the very conditions that justify their control. How would you feel watching this? Would you favor the children causing harm over those suffering? Or would you recognize that something is deeply wrong? Real love does not operate through favoritism or control. Real love seeks balance, fairness, and the well-being of all. And this is where a deeper truth begins to emerge. Humanity has been conditioned to see itself as separate from each other, separate from the earth, and separate from the source many call God. But this separation is an illusion, and it serves a purpose. Because if we truly understood that we are interconnected, that we are expressions of the same source, then harming another would feel like harming ourselves. Think of the body. If one part is in pain, the whole body feels it. The body does not isolate the suffering part. It responds, it heals, it compensates. We are no different. We are not separate individuals competing for survival. We are parts of a larger whole, a system, a living expression of something greater. And yet division is constantly reinforced. Why? Because division keeps people distracted. It keeps attention focused on blame, anger, and conflict, directed toward one another instead of toward the systems and patterns that perpetuate imbalance. It keeps humanity asleep. And while we remain distracted, time passes. Generations come and go. Faces change, technologies advance, appearances improve, but beneath the surface, the same core issues remain. Look back 5, 10, even 20 years. Have things truly changed at a fundamental level? Or have they simply been repackaged? In many cases, what appears to be progress is often a surface-level transformation, a new layer of paint over an unchanged foundation. The same dynamics persist, the same patterns repeat, only the presentation evolves. So the question is no longer whether change is needed. The question is, where does it begin? It does not begin with waiting. It does not begin with hoping someone else will fix what is broken. It begins with awareness. It begins with recognizing that the spark of what you call God or source exists within you, that you are not separate from it, but an expression of it. And from that awareness, something powerful emerges. Responsibility. Not blame, not guilt, but responsibility. Because if we are part of the whole, then every action matters. Every choice contributes, either to the continuation of imbalance or to the restoration of harmony. Love is not passive. It is not weak. It is the most powerful force available, but it requires awareness to activate it. And that awareness disrupts control. It dissolves division. It exposes illusion, which is why so much effort is placed into keeping people distracted through conflict, fear, and endless noise. But the moment you see clearly, the moment you recognize the patterns, the moment you understand your connection to the whole, that is the moment everything begins to shift. Not all at once, but inevitably. Because real change does not come from the outside in. It comes from the inside out. And it spreads. So now, return to the question one final time. If you were the parent of several children, and you knew that one or two were destroying the home you provided, lying, hoarding, wasting, and causing suffering to the others, how would you feel? And more importantly, what would you do? Wake up. Wake up. Let us transform our home, Mother Earth, back into its original form, the paradise that it is. It begins with love. It begins with you.